Welcome to Berry Life. Today we are making a classic comfort food, but with a vegan twist. Mac and cheese. Just saying mac and cheese out loud brings back memories of good times. For this recipe, we're going to need a pound of pasta. We are using cavatappi for this video, but feel free to use any small tubular pasta such as macaroni or even penne. Cavatappi means corkscrew in Italian. This shape really helps hold the sauce inside, as do the ridges on the outside. We'll also need paprika, onion powder, garlic powder, vegan butter, jalapenos, all-purpose flour, nutritional yeast, Dijon mustard, breadcrumbs, pesto. This is an optional ingredient, but it just takes this dish to another level. Homemade vegetable stock, coconut milk, and salt and pepper to taste. Hit the subscribe button for more great content, and the bell icon for future upload notifications. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and we'd love to hear from you in the comments. We'll start by bringing a pot to boil. Go ahead and add a liberal amount of salt to the water, should be like seawater, and cook the pasta to package instructions. We want the pasta to be al dente, which means a little firm when you bite into it. This should take about 7 or 8 minutes. While the pasta is boiling, let's toast some breadcrumbs. In a skillet over low heat, add some butter and let it melt. Once the butter has melted, add the breadcrumbs. We want the breadcrumbs to be GBD, golden brown and delicious. Stir the breadcrumbs continuously to prevent burning. Notice the slight browning on the bottom. The breadcrumbs are starting to toast. The breadcrumbs are done. We can go ahead and take them off the pan and transfer them to a plate to let them cool. Before we make the mac and cheese, we'll preheat the oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Now we can start the sauce. In a large pan over medium heat, add 6 tablespoons of butter. Stir and let the butter melt completely. Once the butter has melted, add 6 tablespoons of flour. Mix the butter and the flour together into a paste. This paste is called a roux. This will help thicken the sauce. We don't need to cook the roux for long. We just need it to be lightly browned and eliminate the taste of the flour. You may notice a nutty fragrance. That's when you know the roux is done. Now we'll add the vegetable stock and thoroughly mix this together with a whisk to eliminate any lumps. This looks good. Now we'll add the coconut milk. And we'll keep whisking to make sure everything is completely incorporated. And bring the sauce to a boil. When the sauce boils, we'll take it off the heat and mix in the other ingredients. The sauce is boiling, let's take it off the heat. Now I'll add the Dijon mustard and whisk that in. Then we'll add the nutritional yeast and continue whisking. The yeast has a nutty and savory flavor, resembling cheese, so it's a great alternative. The yeast also helps thicken the sauce even more. Once the nutritional yeast is fully combined, we'll add the garlic powder, onion powder, and paprika. And mix them in. Now we'll add the jalapenos. If you want the sauce to be spicier, add the jalapenos in the roux. Now we'll add salt and pepper to taste. Using the back of the spoon test, we're going to check for consistency. Perfect. We'll also check for seasoning. This needs just a little more salt. That's it. The cheese sauce is done. Now we can add the cooked pasta and combine until all of the pasta is coated with the cheese sauce. Now we are ready to bake. Transfer the mac and cheese to a baking dish. This recipe makes enough to fill a 13 by 9 pan. For this video, we're using a small and medium baking dish. Add any remaining sauce to the baking dish. We don't want to waste any of that cheesy goodness. Before baking in the oven, we're going to add a layer of breadcrumbs on top. Add as much or as little as you prefer. We are a heavy crust household. We're also going to cover the baking dish with foil. These are ready to go into the oven. Once the oven reaches 400 degrees, the mac and cheese can go in. We're going to bake it for 15 minutes. It's been about 15 minutes. We're going to remove the foil. After removing the foil, push them back in and bake for another 5 minutes and allow the breadcrumbs to form a crispy crust. Five minutes later, the mac and cheese is done. Look at that golden crust. Let the mac and cheese rest for about 15 to 20 minutes before serving. Before serving, we're going to add a pesto drizzle on top for an additional flavor element that pairs nicely with the richness of the cheese sauce. There you have it, vegan mac and cheese. I wouldn't compare this to a regular mac and cheese because it's not. but it is a delicious dish on its own. It looks so good. Let's get cheesy. If you enjoyed this recipe, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to help support our channel, and hit the bell icon for future notifications. If you try this recipe, tag us on Instagram at BerryBerryLife. We'd love to hear from you.